Hello and welcome to another episode on Maros Bonsai channel. Today I'm going to work on maple, mountain maple, Acer palmatum. It's just right time to remove the leaves to perform defoliation on this tree because some leaves were removed months ago, but crown is still too dense. So I need to remove part of the foliage from this tree so the light can reach the inner parts of the structure and prevents the dieback of the branches. Defoliation is rather drastic technique. You need to perform it on really healthy tree. You absolutely have to avoid it on tree which has any health issues or it's weak. If you are afraid to do full defoliation and you are thinking about providing more light for your plant, for your maple, it's good to try to remove one leaf from stem, leaving one and removing one, like on this one. Maybe you see it now on the second camera. So this is also the possibility. Have you ever thought why the Acer palmatum, the maples, are so popular in bonsai culture? Here are 4 reasons why I think they are popular. Personally, I think one of the main reasons is appearance of the trees. They have fantastic leaves. They manage to make the leaves much smaller if grown in the contained space of the bonsai pot. They change the color of the leaves in the autumn. They are really beautiful, even the basic variants. It's able to grow really nice branches, really delicate, easy to manipulate them if they are young enough. It's very easy to work with. It's really predictable. The growth pattern of maple is really predictable. It's not something you are not able to understand. It's really easy to understand how to manage the growth of the plant. The reason number 2 is it's really healing all the scars really well. Compared to many other species I have experience with, most probably the maples, the mountain maples are one of the best species regarding the healing scars after removing large branches or parts of the trunk. When I will remove the leaves, I will show you few examples on this maple. And this brings me to reason number 3. The maples are really good in propagation, really easy able to make the tree from the cutting. This is my first maple I had in my collection. But since then I took several cuttings. This is, for example, the cutting from the same maple, and it's growing already in the pot for, I don't know, 8 years or something like this. And from you can see large wound here with a cut paste. It will really nicely heal very soon. And there is a big cut here where the tree was air layered. Yeah? And from this tree, this is air layer, yeah, from the same tree. So you can see you can do a lot of propagation from cuttings from. They are really widespread in bonsai culture. So in case you are starting with bonsai, it's very easy to find advice on maples. It's much harder to find advice on some rare species in bonsai culture, like birch, for example. There is not so many birch growers and not many successful bonsais from unusual plants. But almost all people who are growing bonsai have at least one or more maples in the collection. And you can find really a lot of advice on propagation, on making cuttings, on doing air layers, on different cultivars. Everything you are able to find on YouTube, on blogs, and find personal advice from different people, maybe in a club around you. So it's really good tree to start with, because you have a lot of opportunity to find good advice. There is a lot of other cultivars which are popular within bonsai culture, which you can acquire, also grow easily from some easier than others, from cuttings or air layers, and you can develop them into bonsai. In case you were wiring the tree in the winter or in early spring, after defoliation, you have good opportunity to check the wires, and if they are biting in, you are able to easily spot it and remove the wires which are not necessary anymore if the branches are holding well. We are talking about propagation, taking cuttings for example. Really good.
One of the interesting sources for me was Johny Maple from YouTube. You can find his channel. He uses plastic storage boxes as places for cuttings, where the cuttings are protected from the environment and keep in humid environment. He just drilled the holes into the base of the box and few ventilated openings into the lid. I use this method. You can see the footage right now. It's really interesting. I put the link to his video down below.
So a really good source of information is Jelle, who did a lot of nice videos about taking cuttings from different varieties of maples. So you can check his content as well. Also recently I saw the very nice video from one of the Japanese channels I follow, where the guy is taking cuttings and applying them into the substrate with the tweezers, which is a really fantastic, interesting idea, how to protect the tip of the cutting when you're applying it into the substrate. Check his content. It's really interesting. And bonus info, in ancient Rome, the defoliation on maples was done by slaves. But mostly female slaves were doing defoliation on maples, according to historians. Here you can see the wire. I put it there in the spring, and I think the branchlets will hold already, so I better remove the wire now, because I will be not able to access it until the autumn. So there are two methods basically. You can cut the wire with wire cutters, or you can unwind it. I used to cut the wire all the time, but then I tried to unwind it, and I think it's a little bit better. Of course, if you have branch with really tough access, it's better to cut it. So wire is gone. I think these branches are a little bit too long, so I shorter one and I keep one longer, and then you can manage the branches later. You can keep what you want and remove what you don't want. After the full bucket of leaves, the job is done. Almost all leaves are gone. I checked the structure of the tree. It will stay like this. I was thinking about removing the wires here and also here and here, but they are still need to stay. It will be tricky to find proper time to remove them, because when the new foliage will grow, you can easily forget that the wires are there, so you need to be really careful. But anyway, I'm leaving them there. This one is wrapped in the paper. It's I tried it first time only with one wire. I decided to try it. So this one is much safer. Also, there are guy wires. You can see it maybe better on second camera. I was afraid that the rubber protection is not thick enough and the wires are really thin. So I add extra rubber into some places to protect the branches, and the guy wires will stay. As well, I removed few dry branches. There wasn't really a lot of them, so it is okay for now. And what I wanted to show you in now when the tree is without the leaves, as I was talking on the beginning, this is my first maple. I acquired it maybe in 2010, 2011, I don't remember exactly, I have to check the pictures, but it was much taller. There was a tall trunk, really straight one, really boring, so I wasn't happy with the height and with all the movement which was there at the time. So I chopped the tree at this height. This was a chop area. About this high, and then it was carved, and it stayed like this for many years. Then I decided that I need to do something about it, and I tried to carve it a little bit more, and I was opening the callus around and put a sealant there, the one like it is on this scar here. Every time I do some spring cutting of branches from that maple, I stick the cuttings into the substrate, and this is the result. These are a few years old. Also, this is a mix of different maples. I received 2 years ago from GART, from United States, batch of different seedlings as exchange for other seeds I sent to him. So, and I didn't know how well the seeds of Acer palmatum are working. So I just sow them into the empty boxes and wait what will happen. Actually, most of them sprouted, and I was surprised how many maple seedlings I had. And now, honestly, I have hundreds of different seedlings with different foliage. This is a really difference between cuttings, air layers, and seedlings. That with seedlings you never know what kind of foliage the future plant will have, what kind of grow habit. So it's a little bit of lottery, but lucky lottery. You can have really nice specimens with different properties. You can collect the seedlings from big maples around you and sow them, and you can have a lot of material and you can play with it later.